Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's me, Jesse. This is Strange Game on a Volcano, and I'm your host, Jesse Sponberg. And we've been gone for a long time, but we're back. Starting tonight, we are back. Here we go with the intro. Wake up! When a rooster crows at midnight, it doesn't matter what time it is. How long have you been asleep? It was probably a dream, and you can't prove it wasn't. All I know is the dinosaurs are dead. Somebody killed the dinosaurs. And I'm gonna find out who. This is Strange Game on a Volcano. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Strange Game on a Volcano. I feel like I haven't been here in forever, when really it's only been about 11 months. But for those who are new to the show or those who might be catching us in an audio-only version as a podcast, let me backtrack just a tiny bit. I know it's going to make for a slow start to the show, but I'll make up for it because we got some incredible special guests coming up, including everybody's favorite, Diction Uno, Dirty Black from the morning show Coffee and Bong Hits, and our dear friend, Drew Manchu from Bad Habitat. It's only one dude, by the way. Anyways, what I wanted to tell you was that at the very end of 2019, I was in the jungle and I could have retired. I absolutely could have retired. I would have been cool. I could have stayed in the jungle and raised baby ducks and baby sheep, and I would have been great. And the voice in my head was like, what about that dream that you always wanted to have to whoop Art Bell's ass? I say to myself, well, Art Bell's dead now. And they're like, well, you could still whip his ass in a metaphorical sense. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to make the world's best paranormal show that dealt with esoteric and metaphysic topics that other people could relate to, that's not over their head, and it doesn't involve experts, because first and foremost, I'm not an expert at anything that I talk about on the show. I merely facilitate dialogue and discussion and put cool people together and give you something to think about, and hopefully you wake up tomorrow leveled up a little bit. Okay, so let's backtrack. So I'm in the jungle and I'm really tiptoeing, right? I'm already doing Coffee and Bong Hits, and I'm already doing Strange Game, but it's just a radio show. But I want something bigger. And then Balico messages me. For those who don't know, Balico owns the Guinness Book of World Records record for most rap performances, most individual rap performances done in like a 24-hour period, right? Blew this record out the water. It's amazing. And I ask him what he's doing, and he tells me that he's about to build a television station and that we can turn Coffee and Bong Hits into a TV show. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. I'd rather turn Strange Game on a Volcano into something really special, because Coffee and Bong Hits, what's that? That's just me smoking pot and talking shit, right? In the morning. Why don't I have a show where I smoke pot and talk shit at night? Right? That's the move. Smoke pot and talk shit at night. You know, in the morning, I have to talk about politics and climate change and food insecurity and housing insecurity. And at night, we can just talk about crop circles and pyramids and witches and magic potions and dragons and dinosaurs and flying carpets and ancient Sumer or Gobekli Tepe, or we could talk about New Zealand, or the guy in the documentary about New Zealand that was from Easter Island that looks just like one of the Easter Island statues. Yeah, Nate, I'm not an expert in nothing. I'm just well-rounded. I think well-rounded is the term you're looking for. I'm just well-rounded. I know a little bit about a lot of shit. but there's stuff I like to dig deeper into, and there's stuff that I might know a little bit more about, but play dumb so that you guys don't feel left behind and we can still learn together. Right? Sometimes I might feign a little bit of ignorance just to let everybody feel welcome. Okay, so check it out. So I'm in the jungle. I got the ducks. Baliko tells me the 5 Radio XL is about to turn into just the 5 XL. Satellite television, app, channels, shows, hosts. He throws this pitch at me, and I swear to God, you guys, when I tell you that Hawaii is Wakanda, when I tell you that Hawaii is paradise, and that people learned how to surf on boards, just swim out to the ocean with a plank, started learning how to float on it. Magical fruits. I'm sure that's where the first UFOs probably came on this planet, was the South Pacific. Anyways, so Baliko gives me these plans, and I'm really stewing, man. I'm really stewing. I'm like, man, I promised I was never, ever, ever going to leave Hawaii. And then the universe forced my hand a little bit. And I was like, okay, I hear you loud and clear. Let's go to Baliko. And so then I go to Baliko in Kansas City, and we are killing it. I mean, we are killing it. I'm cranking out episodes. I got incredible guests like Frank Flayton and Star and Carrie Medina. And then the coronavirus hit. Look, let me show you real quick what that looked like. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me show you what that looks like. Do we got it right here? Let me see if I can pull that up. Share screen. This is what my last day in Kansas City looked like. Hold on, I found it. Boom. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm shooting the right link to the homies so they can get into the show. Boom. That's the link. Let's hope that works. Okay, so check it out. This is what it looked like. Look. Hey, welcome to Strange Game on a Volcano. My name is Jesse Spomberg. I'm not technically on a volcano right now, but hey, isn't the whole Earth just a giant volcano? Meet me back here in 30 seconds, and we'll try to figure it out with medical researcher Carrie Medina. Okay, so look.
I haven't heard it any other way except COVID.
Okay, me too. Look, this is from March.
Coronavirus, so
look, she's still explaining to us what the heck the coronavirus is.
Relatively low, 0.2%. That's still twice what the flu is, but relatively low. And then you get into the 40 category, and it doubles. 40 to 49 years of age. Then you get into 50 to 59 years of age, and it quadruples. We've got 1.3% here.
Look, nobody understood none of this. I mean, we did because we're not dumb. I mean, if people aren't prepared to carry out their loved ones outside, you're not ready for this. I mean, this is realistic. We're going to have more dead bodies than we can logistically handle, right?
If nothing is done.
Nothing's going to be done. We have the dumbest person in the world as our president. Nothing's going to be done. Doomed.
And I think it's really important that we place less emphasis on people that obviously don't know what they're talking about, and we place more emphasis on people that do. And I think that a huge push for medical professionals to be involved in educating the public is extremely important right now, which I have seen more of in the last few days. Mainstream media covering this with some amount of smarts, I don't know how else to put it, but just vigilance.
Look, so that was my last episode of Strange Game on a Volcano. That was my last episode. I the next morning, I got on a plane and I went home. And I told Belico and I told all the homies, I said, I don't know what the heck this coronavirus shit is, yo, but I think I could be more useful at home. So I'm going to go back to Portland for like 2 weeks. We'll put the show on hold for 2 weeks and then we'll come back. And that was like March, the very beginning of March of 2020. And since then, I came home like, all right, how do we kick the coronavirus's ass? What do we got to do? Let's eat tomatoes. Let's start daycares for kids. Come on. And I came home and my man Diction was like, actually, it's funny you mentioned tomatoes because I'm about to eat potatoes. I was like, no, that was a different summer. I came home. So I didn't know. And then they told me, they were like, Jesse, here's what we need from you. You need to quarantine. I was like, what? Quarantine, turns out, is what they call it when you can't leave your house and you stay home forever and you just grow a beard until your beard just stops growing. Look at this. Y'all see that? That's why I can't wear a mask in Winco. Hey, look, so fast forward, I left Kansas City. I left Belico and Bertie Madoff and the team over there in Cuba and those guys, and I left them alone. And I came back to here in Portland. I worked on my shit. And then Belico kept working on his shit. And now today, oddly enough, cosmic timing, I didn't even know, but Belico just dropped. The 5 Radio XL now has 10 television stations that we have. We have 10 separate television stations available on your favorite satellite provider or the 5XL. That's 5, the number 5, IVEXL. We're everywhere. We're in jukeboxes across the country. We have the app. We're paying royalties. Belico did all that without me. Now, the best thing that I can do to repay him is come back and make sure that our show is fire. So, for the very first day of our show, I reached out to some of my favorite people who also make for exceptional guests. And we're going to bring them on here in like 2 seconds. So let me replay the little intro and I'm going to bring them up in no particular order. Wake up when a rooster crows at midnight. It doesn't matter what time it is. How long have you been asleep? It was probably a dream. You can't prove it wasn't. All I know is the dinosaurs are dead. Somebody killed the dinosaurs. I'm going to find out who. This is Strange Game on a Volcano. Yo, those last strums feel pretty crazy. Hey, y'all, there's a real spacewalk going on right now. Real actual person. I don't know if y'all have any interest in a real spacewalk, but there's a dude out there doing chores. Let me find him again. Hold on.
Oh no, I'm chiming in. I'm figuring this out. It's fine.
Okay, so I'm joined tonight by everybody's favorite people. We got all the way from whatever planet he's from, Diction. We got from Earth, we got Drew Manchu from Bad Habitat, and we got Dirty Black. What does that say? Rasheed Wallace? What is that on here? On the front. You little name tag.
This is a 101 right here. So that's the actual locker thing that he had up during the All-Star game for the 1996 All-Stars.
What?
That's wow.
Yep, that's his actual placard off of his locker when he was a rookie and he was in the dunk contest at the 96 All-Star game.
And you stole that?
Jim Bonus gave it to me. I don't know who stole it, but I got it now. Rasheed, if you see this, if you'd like it back, come and get it in person and we'll do a video and you can have it back.
Hey, we're also joined today by Drew Man Chew. Can you hear us just fine, Drew?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Good?
yeah. What flavor are you vaping on?
Okay, well, so since Jewel won't ship me any real flavors anymore, and the best I could do is like refilling pods with whatever flavor that'll burn out in like 35 minutes. I'm smoking the Jewel classic menthol flavor from the factory itself. It's a classic. It's an American favorite. It's doing real good for me.
The throwback menthol that came in the 4-packs that you just been collecting all the old ones.
The throwback, man. It's circa 2017, I think. It's a vintage flavor. It's doing real good for me. I'm sorry about the glare. I'm trying to do my best to block the glare with my head.
You're all right. Maybe somebody could use it as a nightlight or a flashlight.
There's mirrors, there's lights. You know, like our landlords aren't great about like replacing lights or mirrors. So I mean, that's all part of the situation right now. You know, good to see.
Hey, look what I'm vaping, Drew. I got the Oregon Blackberry.
Oh,
and
classic.
Then the New York Seltzer Vanilla.
Oh, that's wild. They got the New York Seltzer joints.
They got every flavor if you go get one of these bad boys. Hey, Drew just got that brand loyalty to a company that doesn't pay him. Hey, Dirty, what are you smoking tonight?
Man, I'm smoking on a bunch of different shit. I got the Candy by Aventus. I got the Jelly Rancher by Rip City Roots, which is this one's going around. This is the shit right here. I'm smoking on Peanut Butter Breath, again by Aventus. I got some White Glue Flower. I got some Runts that's straight from Cookies in LA. My brother brought me. He stopped by all of a sudden out of the blue, freaking brought up the actual Runts from Cookies. I got the Pacific Coast. This is the Gold Hearts Extracts. That's by Marikai. And actually, excuse me, it's by Cato Farms, man. Can't fuck up the sponsor. Shout out Cato Farms, dude. Top shelf. This right here is some of the butter. I got the diamonds and sauce.
You know, I did the same thing you did before the show, and they were all empty. I was like, I got this. Nope, I don't got this. Then I was like, I got this. Nope, I don't got this.
No, these are all full.
I realized I was out of flour, and then I looked outside and it was snowing. I'm like, I ain't going to the dispensary in the damn snow. So I'm just hitting pins. I got a couple pins going on. That'll have to get me through. Okay, so Drew, you got the vape. Okay, Dirty got the all different kinds of dabs. Diction, what kind of cigarettes are you smoking tonight?
Yeah, good old cowboy killers. Like
what kind of cigarettes?
What do you got?
I got some fucking Jewel where I've been loading it with this cannoli joint, like a strawberry cannoli that Zone hooked me up with. I need to charge that and get back. I finally broke free from corporation, so now that I'm not going into work all stressed out, I'm gonna try and get back on the vaping joint and try and ditch these cowboy killers.
Zone's trying to
man. You're missing out.
Trying to decentralize. Zone's trying to decentralize with some blockchain vape flavors. He's trying to decentralize the tobacco industry.
Hey, yeah, no doubt. A good time to bring it up, brother.
Crypto and emerald. It's like kind of based on blockchain type shit.
Bro, okay, I think we should do some shit on some crypto, man. Shit. I think we should do a show on crypto and start telling the people a little bit about what we know.
We're going to start working that into the morning show.
That's what's up.
That way we can use those hashtags to attract those kind of people to the morning show. And then we'll just set up the little donation button and they can just throw us random ass coins, man. And
it's been fascinating learning about it. One thing I'm heavily considering doing is instead of launching my website on Square like that I've been working on for a minute, I may ditch that entirely and just build a website on the blockchain and shit. You know what I mean?
What? That's a thing?
And now it's just like you could make a website on the blockchain and shit. This one crypto motherfucker that Zone showed me on YouTube who always predicts the prices right. he was like on his website, he's like, yo, click this shit and make a blockchain website. And I was like, that sounds lit. I'm gonna do that maybe.
But you know what's funny is look, we got the only green screen is up against the green logo. I'm gonna switch you guys' cameras.
I'm like the complete opposite of a green screen, man. Wherever I go in my apartment, there's just the worst lighting.
There we go. I'll go up here.
I am a shadow person, no matter where I go in here. Like
you're fine, Drew. We love you.
Switch the light in front of you.
There is no switch on the light in front of me, man. It's fucking lamp lights, dude. Like my apartment doesn't come with built-in lighting, so we popped up. I could go into my upstairs bathroom, I guess, if I need to.
No, I think it's appropriate. You want like a paranormal type show, and you looking all paranormal and shit.
Oh shit! There you go.
There he is.
Yeah.
Shit.
If I hold my camera up for the rest of the fucking interview, I'm at like a 45-degree angle with my arm right now. Like you can't see.
You gotta get you the cell phone gimbal, man. That's what I'm rocking.
That's the arm that's currently holding the fucking cell phone, and it's I'm not trying to do
Put
that.
The phone on your table.
Be as strong as you were when you were a teenager. Well done.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Put the phone on the
grip of life
and then lay on
this
your
is
ground,
the phone. Put the phone on the table and lay on the ground, dude. That's a brilliant solution. Just fucking porn shots on my first time on your show.
Or put the phone on the floor and then go in the basement.
Yeah, I mean, that's
or
also
put the phone in the basement and then go to the seventh level of hell.
You know, I'm cool just being like a faceless alien until I figure this shit out.
Cool.
So like,
hey,
continue.
I'm gonna get some real contributions from you guys, though. I just want to loosen you guys up. And remember, if you're listening to this on a podcast provider like iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, or our other show just got accepted on Pandora, so it might be a little easier to get this show on Pandora.
Yeah.
It took us
because alien, but maybe not.
Okay, so have you? I'm gonna jump into it because I don't know much more than you guys probably do. Those damn monoliths. The monoliths.
I looked into that shit.
The monoliths. Okay, so look, at first it was like, okay, maybe it's something cool, maybe it's a prank, maybe it's some art. Then
the first one was in what, Nevada, wasn't it, or Grand Canyon? Where was the
Utah?
First one?
Utah.
That's right. The first one was Utah. The first one was in Utah. Yeah.
That's where that weird ass alien ranch is at. It was
probably the only real one.
So look, then there's two plot twists, two real recent developments. One, they went back through Google images or maps or whatever back in time, and that obelisk has been in Utah for 5 years, just sitting there for 5 years before it was discovered.
Well, that makes all the other ones even more fake sounding, though. Like,
one of them just turned out to be fake, the one in Turkey, but it didn't look the same, and then it turned out that it was advertisement for the space program.
If the first one that anybody stumbled across, think about this, right? Humans are explorers by nature. Like, almost, I mean, there are inaccessible areas, right? Like, there's a lot of places that nobody has traveled to, but every accessible area has been explored, right? Like, multiple times over. So something like that pops up in a common area that has not been discovered, and then all of a sudden all these others, like,
it's there. If
that is an original, there's got to be
hair right now. But
the middle of Utah is nowheresville, though, man. There's a lot
know about the obelisk on the moon off of Mars, though?
Hey, Jesse,
y'all know. Jesse. I mean, I don't know about what has to do with these ones. Maybe aliens, but maybe not. But
the monolith on the moon or Mars?
I mean, Jesse's talking like he's never met a Mormon, though. Like, the middle of Utah is not unexplored area, man. There's fucking all kinds of civilization there. Like, all the entire United States.
But is there though?
Explored. Like,
how many times have you been to Utah?
None times.
I've been to Utah 3 times. I've been to Utah.
I've been there 2 or 3.
You can like if you get down in southern Utah by the Grand Canyon, you can hide a monolith out there for
that's fair.
maybe.
That's fair.
You're not
Absolutely.
you're not gonna have it.
but it's hiding.
But
Maybe.
I mean, they say that there is Egyptian relics that were discovered in the Grand Canyon that were there for a long ass time. And here's the weirdest thing.
I don't believe that shit.
Look, depending on what timeline you jump back and forth in, the Smithsonian sometimes admits that they have them, and sometimes the Smithsonian says they don't. Let me see. Let me look.
You know about the monolith on the moon off of Mars, though? That looks real similar. They zoomed in on it. I'm just saying, it's a thing.
Yeah, there is actually.
Go in. Talk about that. I don't know nothing about that. Talk about that.
Okay, so basically they got like some photos off one of the moons of Mars and they were able to zoom in. And here's the even crazier thing. Buzz Aldrin, his crazy ass who went to the moon, right? Or he went to the moon, whatever, right? But he was like, yo, when you find it, you're going to find out that it's artificial and it's going to change the course of human history. Then he never said shit about it again. That's pretty fucking wild.
About the moon?
No shit.
No, about the monolith on Mars. Like, what the fuck does Buzz Aldrin know about that shit? And why is he saying perfect nonsense and then not saying some other shit?
Hold on. I'll look on Mars real quick. Man, you know, I hate.
Shout out Buzz Aldrin. I always like Buzz Aldrin's name.
I like when that one fool tried to go ham on him about not going to the moon, and he was like, even though he's like 1,000,000 years old, he looked like he's about to knock him the fuck out. I respect the fuck out of him.
Oh, he gave him a full right. He gave him a straight up
right.
pound to the kisser. Yeah.
Anybody in their 90s that's willing to go ones with somebody who's trying to fucking besmirch their name or snitch on them for their moon scam, depending on what you think. Either way,
he gave him the one where he telegraphed it too. He put the nuke up and then it hit him. He's like, "Bow!" Just cracked the one. It was awesome.
He sent him to the fucking moon. Now he's been there too.
I like that you're not opposed to whether or not it was fake. You're like, like fucking spreading all his business if it's real, and also snitching if it's fake. Like either way, fuck exactly. That guy.
What kind of bullshit is that? You gonna run up on a man and front on him like, you know what I'm saying, being hella snitchy?
No,
I'm and Buzz was like, "Well, fucking fuck that noise. I don't give a fuck that I'm 99 years old and shit. We're just gonna hit you with a right cross real quick and keep it moving."
I mean, it wasn't.
I have to say this just because Drew and Diction are here. In my song, I said I get buzzed like Aldrin when I'm drinking. 22's a Rasputin. They give me more problems than Houston.
Oh,
yeah. Hell yeah.
Bars.
Man, you always got bars, man.
That shit's fire.
Rasputin with Houston. That's cold, man.
That's some cold shit.
Dude, my favorite space, if we're gonna talk about that, my favorite space related hip hop bar is from Sapient from Sand People, his old shit. He says, "We're blowing up like Space Shuttle Challenger. We came to rock melons like Gallagher." Man, fucking.
That's your favorite one?
A challenge. I like that Gallagher line.
Enemy of mankind. He said,
"That's my favorite outer space related rhyme from Portland hip hop. We're blowing up. We're blowing up like Space Shuttle Challenger. Came to rock melons like Gallagher." Like nobody makes space rhymes in Portland hip hop for the most part, except for fucking Dirty Black over here. So
except for the guy who made a whole album called Space Cracker.
I mean that doesn't count.
One of the first rhymes I wrote that people bugged out on was about when I was a kid was about the pyramids on Mars and how angles of light proved that they were geological features and some other crazy shit when I was like 14.
Boom.
I go to robot bars within the orbits of Mars, like Planet Hollywood, except here they got stars and they watch TV back on Earth. WB, Jerry Springer, and the Smurfs. Look, so this is the moon.
Didn't know we were gonna get hip hop. Didn't know we were gonna go hip hop on them.
You know, when I was taking it back, I was like, the show could just turn into one giant freestyle cipher. Really, you gotta be careful. Right.
I mean, I'm gonna have to find a charger to make that happen, though.
But and that's the thing. This is like the hip hop paranormal show, and that was why I thought that it was important, because it seems like these subject matter is always the exclusive territory of dorks and bootlickers and people that appeal to authority while pretending to be so counterculture, like Art
like
Bell
George
or
Norrie.
George Norrie.
Yo,
Man, thanks, bro. You owe me a 50 bag of Coke. These nerds always take over the medium, right? These people that live the life. Like, bro, you don't have to dress emo or have rhinestones on your cowboy jacket if you want to talk about ghosts. You could be a G and talk about ghosts. Yo, crystal energy, that's some real ass gangster shit. Look, you might have a gun, but I will show you. Look, this is called a fetish, right? So this is a monkey nut that was dropped out of a tree in Florida by some wild monkeys. I tracked them down. I stole one of their nuts. And then this is a crystal that was given to me by a real ass shaman dude. He mined it and did it himself in the Klamath Valley Basin, right?
oh shit, yeah.
But when I take these two together, if I stab you in the heart with this, you'll get herpes. Boom. That's gangster.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. Like,
I think probably because aliens, but maybe not though.
In the word of words going on the internet, fuck around and find out.
Let me show you.
I feel like that knife would have to be pre treated with herpes, for lack of a better term. Like,
well, I get what Jesse's referring to though. Quartz is programmable, and if you don't believe that, then fucking throw your computer out the window, right? You know what I mean? Because that's the whole shit that makes that shit do that shit.
All right.
That's why we got that magic sand. Remember, I came back from Florida the first time. I went with the magic sand. I went to that beach that was made out of just pure pulverized quartz. I went with that.
Man, you know what about that magic sand, Jesse? I went to that beach. I was there.
Siesta Keys?
I was in Siesta Key. I was down in Florida visiting my mom. I dipped my toes in that sand last year, right around this time, like February last year. I was dipping my toes in that sand. First off, that sand is phenomenal. Like it felt like it felt like fucking like. First off, I fucking hate sand, right? I've been to Oregon beaches. I've been to all the beaches in the Northwest and California, and I fucking hate sand because it goes everywhere. It's always just wherever. If you walk through sand, it's going to go home
go
with
to
you.
Hilo.
But that sand there didn't stick to anything. It didn't follow me around. Like it was a nice,
it's expensive. It ain't no bummy ass sand. It's pure quartz. It's like we'll stay here. Regular ass sand is like an orphan.
It was a real respectful sand. It was a real respectful sand. It understood boundaries. It was not trying to go home with me when I didn't want it to. Yeah, I swam in the ocean. Of course, it's my first time in the Gulf of Mexico. Of course, I fucking swam in the ocean. Like, but anyways, so all that said, you have been telling me this is magic sand, right? It's magic. It's gonna change your life. It's fucking like all these magical properties. And I fucking rolled around in this sand. I fucking put my toes in it. I fucking swam in the ocean. I got home from visiting my mom, and my cat died. How do you explain that, Jesse?
Also, coronavirus hit around that time, so maybe you just did it from some shit or aliens.
I teach you a lesson. Sometimes the gift is inside the lesson. That's where the magic is.
The gift is in the. What lesson did I learn, man?
To teach you how to center yourself in the face of adversity.
You could have went
too cocky, Drew. We're gonna kill you.
The sand in the water.
You had that whole
cocky, Drew. You're having too good of a time, Drew. We're gonna fucking give you some heartbreak in your life and kill your oldest.
The yin and the yang, baby.
She's 13 years old and she's your baby, and you've loved her and you've fucking taken care of her since the day you moved out of your parents' house. And yeah, we're gonna kill her because you believe in Jesse's magic sand.
No,
that cat was so cool.
It was the first time you probably ever left. It's probably the first time you ever left your house for more than 2 days, and your cat thought you abandoned her, and she just died of a broken heart. Probably, man. They don't know. That's what's so sad about having animals. I used to hate that. Flash, if I would leave, he'd be like, "So I guess this is forever." Just like,
damn.
Just lay around.
I know we're gonna get heavy, Nixon.
Man, you know what it
dude,
was?
I didn't know we were gonna get heavy. You see what these two are doing? Right above us?
Yeah, that was cold.
I'm
Piece right
sorry.
there. I mean,
I'm
I guess
sorry.
that's a transition into ghosts because maybe cat ghosts, but maybe not.
I like to think my cat's a
Drew,
ghost.
I think that we can use this to bring your cat back. The bad news is it's going to have herpes.
Yo,
These monkeys really do have herpes, though.
I mean,
thought
you know
we
what,
wilded
dude?
out in the morning, and the nighttime we really be wilding the fuck out. This shit's a circus.
Bro.
I like how he just grabs that thing, that monkey nut with herpes. So he's just
I just wanna say
authoritative
real
with it.
quick.
This thing
I
has
just want to
herpes.
say
He's
real
just rubbing
quick.
it on the side of
I
his
love
face.
that.
He's like,
I love that cat to
I'm
death.
immune.
I love that cat to death. Right, like that was my baby. Right, but I didn't fuck that cat. So if she comes back with herpes, at least I got my cat back. Like it's the whether or not the cat has herpes really isn't gonna affect me too much.
That's gonna be a soundbite, probably.
Is there a
I
butt?
think
Yeah,
people in here
I never
seriously
once
misunderstand how
that
herpes works. You're not supposed to be just touching herpes and rubbing it against yourself or anything like that. So if you like to rub that cat,
You know, I think one of my greatest
Well, I
qualities
mean,
as
that
an
depends
interviewer
on how you're
is,
describing the way I rubbed my cat, man.
I think one of my greatest
we
qualities
gotta
as an
change
interviewer
subjects, man. This is
is
all gonna
being
become.
able
This is gonna
to
come back to
being
bite me
able
if we
to
don't
look
change
up the
this
road.
subject.
Yeah, hold on, Drew. You got one of my greatest qualities as an interviewer is being able to predict where I think my guest is going with his line of conversation. And I had no idea where the hell you were going with that. So, but what I did just discover is that monolith that we thought was cool because it showed up in Göbekli Tepe. Bro, that's just that was a fake one done by Ergodon to promote the Turkish space program.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. You know what I mean? Like, they definitely. I was watching the Turkish news. I did a little research before the show. You know, the other thing is, of course, it always goes back to like Egypt and shit, right? But they got like monoliths there, and they had them in other cultures, and they got crystals inside that shit. So it's wild that you brought up the quartz crystal because if you go to the ancient versions of these, you know, that were stone, there's a proposition that some people believe perhaps they were like an ancient version of 5G, if you will, but like a network of energy because they were stuffed with all these quartz crystals, which could broadcast or receive signals, as we know, via computers. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, also, if I need to promote some shit, I'm going to holler at the PR teams in fucking Turkey. They don't fucking play around.
Yeah, Turkey net, man. Do you guys even know how dope Turkey is? See, Turkey getting named after a turkey, it was a bad move, right?
Tryptophan.
Yo, but Turkey's been around hella long. And I'm like,
yeah,
yo,
actually,
what
yeah,
if
the country Turkey
was actually named after the place? You know what I mean? Like,
a lot of the southern states are in complete agreement with you. I believe that statement is 100% true.
Than the name of
wow,
the
that's crazy. So turkeys really don't deserve all that because Turkey's a pretty dope place with a rich history and a lot of fucking fly ass fake alien PR stunts and motherfucking ancient temples and all kinds of ill shit. And the
like name themselves like wolf or tiger.
And then they got to name a bird after that shit. That's like the dumbest bird on motherfucking earth.
Right?
Damn, that's cold.
Oh, whoa. Those are the meanest fucking birds damn near on the history of the face of Earth. Have you ever been in?
They're like the meanest people on the face of Earth. Yeah, that's just even
more fucking negative press on turkeys. Motherfucking they also dry when you eat them. Like, what the fuck could they even exist for?
It's probably why they named
them. Canadian gooses and turkeys. I wouldn't give a shit if every one of them fucking died right now.
Man,
yeah, straight up and down, man. And then we wouldn't have to eat them and shit because at certain gatherings and whatever, because it's like, yo, no matter how much you fucking inject that shit with whatever the fuck, it's just dry, yo. Fuck that shit. Just have some chicken and settle down. It's fucking crazy.
I used to tell people, and Jesse can relate to this. Sorry, real quick, Jesse. You can relate to this. You feel bad about eating meat. I feel bad about
I don't even mean no more.
I feel bad about eating meat. You know, I love animals, but I used to tell people like I don't have any problem eating turkeys because it's historically documented that like turkey farmers lose a portion of their livestock to turkeys drowning in the rain. Like they have such small brains. They're such a stupid animal that when it rains, they look up and they get confused. And with their mouth open when they're looking up, they drown and fucking die. Like,
honestly, the way I feel, it might be controversial, but I don't feel bad about eating nothing, because I feel like if any of the animals was smart enough, they'd eat the fuck out of you. I don't trust them for shit, and it's like whatever, you know, something's gonna get eaten. If it's you or me,
evolution was not good to them.
I wonder how many people have died of that. You think that there's people in the world who died of looking up while it was raining and just drowned?
70 million people, whatever.
Couple, man.
70 million people voted for Donald Trump for president.
There you go. At least a couple of them died in a rainstorm.
Oh my God! You know how bad their diets probably are. They just taste like Cheetos and top ramen and fucking Mountain Dew. Oh God!
Oh, definitely Mountain Dew.
It's my dream though.
The White Trash Olympics, man.
It's my dream though that one day all the turkeys come back to life, like at 7 o'clock on Thanksgiving. Like no matter where they are, they all just like tick, 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 boom, psych. We're never dead. They jump on your table in your belly, coming halfway out your butthole. Come.
They'd peck your fucking eyes out. Those things are freaking vicious, dude.
How crazy though? Like
I low-key don't trust any kind of bird whatsoever, man. Anything with a weaponized mouth like that is just fucking kind of weird, dog. I don't trust none of them shits.
Whoa. Okay,
quick.
Maybe
just violently quick.
Now might be a bad time to advertise 33 Bird Plaza, a modern day food court for birds.
That was a perfect time for that.
To the airport. So even if you don't like turkeys, don't worry. No turkeys are actually able to get up here because it's bird paradise. We have peanuts and granola and Cliff Bars and regular bird seed, and then the catch of the day, which is like whatever I just figured out that they might possibly want to eat. So I want to let you know that this show is brought to you by 33 Bird Plaza. Also, kind of oddly brought to you by the mealexchange.com program. Mealexchange.com, bro. They feed people out there, man. Get with them, plug them, help them. Throw them $5. $5 really buys a meal for somebody at a restaurant. Nice little takeout meal, custom made for $5. Something that's already on their menu. It's good shit. Okay.
Anyway. What were you saying about fuck all birds? Let's get back to that. So
I don't know, man. They just got beady ass little eyes and they seem all suspect and shit, but I respect them. See, I don't like them or trust them, but I respect them because they can fly and their mouth is particularly weaponized like some kind of a knife. Like that. I just don't trust the fucking birds whatsoever, but I respect them. Because I know they might fly and shit on you, or they might I mean, imagine if I taped a knife to my face and just ran around. Motherfuckers would get real skittish if I walked into the room. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
yo, they're descended from T-Rex.
I get what you're saying, man. They're completely unrelated.
They gave you that.
If you look at the evolutionary tree, right? Like fish evolved into amphibians, which evolved into reptiles, and then reptiles evolved separately into birds and mammals, right? So birds are the least related to us out of any living species. Like we absolutely have nothing in common with
for a reason, dog.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right to not trust them. Like they're the furthest from us on the evolutionary tree. Like we have more in common with reptiles than we do with birds, man. So yeah, fuck them.
I mean, they can fly, dog. One other thing that can fly. That's some crazy ass fucking shit, bro. Like what are they? Yo, that's wild. Nothing else could fly. That's a weird advantage. I don't know that. I mean, respect them, but I don't
that's a weird advantage.
You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Man,
yeah, I always tell people that I won't go skydiving with them because fucking God didn't give me wings, and I don't even believe in God, but that's my excuse because I'm scared. I'm just like fuck that shit. God didn't give me wings, man. Like fucking that's exactly what you summed up about birds, right?
Birds is like the quintessential symbol of coexisting. Like
I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't exist or nothing other except turkeys. Fuck them. We've all established their needless entirely. I respect birds and I respect their right to be a thing because they're dope, and I respect a lot of shit about them. I just don't trust the motherfuckers. I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not trying to listen to anybody
with their knife ass faces and shit.
Bro, they can shit.
I'm not trying to listen to anybody in this argument.
I'm saying, dog, you don't want birds fucking around with you, but like respect them from a distance. That's cool. I'm not trying to have them all up in my shit. That I don't know.
Right? You guys are still eating them. Talking about you can't trust them, right?
Hell yeah! If they were big enough, they would eat me like.
Y'all the ones out here violating the sanctimony.
I'm just eating them before they eat me.
I'm saying if they were big enough, they would eat us. They were dinosaurs once, and them shits would definitely eat you. Boom, we got evidence that it's all good.
Too, they would peck you hard too. They would eat you alive.
I don't think the birds are prior to you chiming in though.
You guys are violating the sacred treaty between species, right? Like we all coexist here, bird and man. You guys are like, yeah. I don't really trust you guys though. Oh, you eating them? You killing them? You eating them? You slaughtering them? I believe in bird liberation. In fact, if you listen to, I swear to God, if you listen to the newest episode of What the F is Ladylike, I was just a guest, and they asked me what my passion is right now. And I think the reason that birds are so underrepresented in not only the government itself, but just in the communities that they live in is because they don't have jobs. So,
yo. That's true, though. Think about it. A lot of other livestock can do shit, you know, like oxes and what have you. Birds ain't doing that shit. I mean, pigeons used to fly messages around, but once they got fired with the whole internet and all that shit, like they're just out in parks fucking stealing food and fucking acting ratchet as fuck. That's true.
So one of the goals.
I was about to say there are plenty of jobs for birds, but then you were like, yeah, they fly messages around, and what else is there? And I was like, damn. You just killed my whole argument. Like
that .com bubble hit
literally the only job. The only job
birds
they can do.
Pickpocket for you. If you train birds to go steal gold for you, they can just run up and steal somebody's necklace or their earring or their nose.
Damn. See, all the more reason I respect them, but I don't trust them. You know what I mean?
It's like Elton Craig.
I'll train my crows to steal chain wallets. Like. Get the chain.
Man, I seen a pigeon eating its own leg one time at fucking Chapman Square and shit, and I was like, "Yo, how the fuck you gonna trust something that's eating its own fucking leg, dog? That's crazy."
You ain't never ate your own leg, Dixon?
Hell no.
You ain't never ate your own leg.
Couple toenails.
Yo, so we're providing job program. Providing job training.
Yeah, I ate a toenail or two. I never ate a full leg.
You ate a toenail before? Like just a little piece of it?
What the fuck are you talking about? That's fucking crazy.
I don't even have pinky toes, dude.
Y'all is wild.
I don't have pinky toes. I was born without them. Fun
this
fact,
has way less ghosts and aliens than I expected.
Fun fact, people don't know about Drew Manchu. I was born without pinky toes. I only have 4 toes on both feet.
Wait, what?
Really? I was born without pinky toes. There's not even a little toe on either foot.
I don't believe
it. Can you kick people better or something because of it?
No,
it seems like it might be an advantage.
You shouldn't believe me. I was just trying to derail the conversation.
Oh,
Hey, dude, don't derail. Hey, don't derail the conversation.
That you can run faster than Usain Bolt. Did you get it?
I was tired of talking about turkeys and shit. Like
other people are listening to this and trying to get value from it, so we want to give them value. We don't want to derail the conversation.
Bro,
so
I mean, I'm giving them just as much value as anything.
If you're listening to this on a podcast server or on Pandora, or if you might have heard a clip of it on the 153rd ranked local daily news in the United States, give us a 5-star, because this is going to be our actual first episode that you'll ever hear. This will be listed as the pilot episode. It's probably never going to get any better than it is right now. So I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, If you want to see whether or not I have
we do
5
have,
toes,
we do have
join my
53.
OnlyFans.
We do have like 53 episodes already in the bank, so we could just release them on these mofos, and they'd be like, "Oh shit!" But we're not going to do that to nobody. But if you do get opportunity, go leave us a 5-star review, even though we probably deserve a 3 at best. Give us a little love because nobody's going to know. We appreciate
I'm
you.
give them some content. Now you've given the gusto. Now we got to give them some.
You deserve 5s. You deserve 5s. You deserve all 5s.
I knew that Drew didn't have 4 toes because I've been to the river with you so many times. Wait, this dude kind of looks like Prince Namor, but I don't think he really is. Hey, speaking of Prince Namor,
I swim like Prince Namor, though. I'm a
you
great
guys
swimmer.
do you guys know that as more evidence of ancient past come, the more realities of finding underwater cities are actually coming true, and all over the world we're finding cities that actually could be replicas of where Prince Namor actually swam. It's happening everywhere, like every day.
That's crazy.
Like if I just typed underwater city right now, let me just hold on, watch.
No. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. There have been sunken cities discovered off of most of the major continents, like in the Atlantic, off of multiple islands. There have been sunken cities found, which may be the inspiration for Atlantis. In the East Pacific, they've been found.
We don't want those. There's so many of those. We don't want those. That's not what we're looking for. We want Atlantis, bro. We want concentric circles.
Not just Atlantis, though. There's Lemuria. There's Lemuria, which is like Atlantis, but for
Lemuria
Eastern
is
cultures.
between Sri Lanka and Madagascar or some shit.
Exactly. It's Atlantis for Eastern cultures. Like
undersea.
Multiple cultures, though, have myths about a land that sank. And so that can't be coincidence. You know, if you want to talk about that, like
there's myths about Lemuria and Atlantis getting into a war, and that might have caused the sinking as well.
Yes, that's true. Yeah,
I believe there's a book called the People of Mu, something like that. That's about that situation. I don't know if it's all channeled information or what have you, so probably ghosts or aliens, but maybe not.
I mean, you're always probably ghosts or aliens. I
mean, come on, bro. We're on, the newer, better version of Coast to Coast without the bootlicking. And if you go on ghost shows or alien shows, if there's one thing that you learn from watching that shit, you got to always tie it into that and then feign uncertainty. It's just the standard fucking what you do, and then kick to the psychic on the right. Boom.
The fact that there are multiple historical cultures that have like basically that same story in their canon, like. A civilization existed that was better than all of us, and it sank. And that's Atlantis. That's Lemuria. That's the story of multiple fucking tragedies throughout history, throughout multiple civilizations. And no. But what I'm saying is, if that
Edgar Casey predicted one of the first ones they found off the eastern coast of South America. They followed some shit Edgar Casey said, and they found some underwater ruins there that people thought was the joint.
What I'm saying is, if that many independent cultures have the same story, that story is likely based in fact. No, like if so many cultures that are independent of each other experience the same thing, that was probably a historical event that has just been misinterpreted as it's been passed down,
No, because we're talking about migratory patterns. We're talking about genetic haplogroups. We're talking about origin ideas and technologies, right? That has spread across, and that's what's crazy. The Addiction just mentioned Edgar Casey, because Edgar Casey talked about specific root groups of people that left Atlantis and fleed Atlantis, right? And now as we're getting newer technology like the ground penetrating lasers, instead of we used to just have like radar, Right now we got the lasers. You can just fly over and take apart a whole forest, and you can just see the bottom of it, right?
You know, it's wild that you bring that up because where they found the ones he predicted were by the Nazca lines, not far from there. And the Nazca lines, as you know, if anyone who's not familiar, you can only see them from flying from above, and they would have had to utilize some sort of technology that you're speaking of. I believe it was the Inca people, but I could be wrong about the people in particular. But the Nazca lines of Peru.
Yeah, those are
it's the Incas. Yeah.
The stinking Incans. You know, I keep forgetting. What are you doing over there, Dirty? What are you rolling?
Right now I'm doing actually a little Santa Lad bowl. I've got a little bit of the candy and a little bit of the peanut butter breath. And I was going to put a little bit of dabs on it and see what it tasted like.
All right, just checking on you. Want to make sure you wouldn't do anything too cool.
That shit about to knock you out like Buzz Aldrin at the fucking Moon Denier conference and shit.
You know, probably next week I'll have my shit together enough that I'll be able to prove to you guys that the moon is fake.
I mean, regardless, don't run up on Buzz Aldrin about it. Fake or real, because he ain't playing no motherfucking games with these people.
You catch those hands over the moon with Buzz.
Hell yeah.
Young Buzz when it comes to the moon.
He don't play no.
Yeah, I mean,
and he knows something about a monolith on Mars, apparently. So he knows some kind of shit, whatever it is.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. There's three separate countries on their way to Mars right now. From this planet.
I know Elon's about on his way out there. I think Lex Luthor's bitch ass who just stepped down from Amazon's got what, blue something? They about to head out that way. Who else is in the mixture?
Let me pull up this article. I just saw the headline. I'm like, man, let me grab this real quick. It says, if you're planning on going to Mars, now's a good time.
Yeah, sounds about right. This whole thing's a shit show. Just go somewhere else.
The Earth is.
Oh shit! Did I go see that?
Now's a better time than ever.
Yeah, classic America. Oh, we fucked this up. Yeah, just fucking move on and throw your trash on something else. Yeah, fuck it. Jesus. I really hope there aren't anybody on Mars because they're going to be really disappointed when we show up and fuck that shit up.
Right.
There'll be a whole migration and a colony and everything in 10 years. That fucking planet is ruined.
That shit's going to go total recall in like a month, bro. It's going to be all that.
Yo, these are real people out here right now.
Damn, bro. That's crazy. A lot of people are like, man, that would be the coolest shit to go up there. And I'm just like, no, I really don't want to bother with any of that whatsoever. I mean, dope, do you? But I'm just saying personally, I'm like, meh. I don't know. What, you're up there, you can't do stuff, you're in a suit. It just seems like a lot of hassle.
No, I feel that. Those people are very important to the future of mankind, but they're not important to me as a person, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're important. I'm just saying personally, like, I wouldn't be one of those. It's like Alaska, where there's a lot of people who's like, I want to go to Alaska. And I'm like, I don't ever want to go there, dog. It's just bears and hella snow and shit. It sounds like a nightmare. It's too much.
Absolutely like
why would I want to
like Alaska?
Deal with all that shit? It's crazy.
Yeah. Alaska.
That's how I feel about Mars. Same shit without the mountains.
Alaska is important to me as a person, but personally, it's not that important to me. It's exactly the same thing.
I feel you like, hey, no disrespect. Like, enjoy your snow and your bears and all that shit, but I just don't need to be a part of it.
I respect.
Other people are like, can we go on a cruise to Alaska? I'm like, sounds like a fucking nightmare, but knock yourself out. I don't know.
Yeah, do your thing, dog. I'm not trying to go to Alaska, right? Like,
I'm saying, it's like, maybe you want to stick your head in the freezer too, but I don't want to do that either. So, I don't know. Per capita, Alaska has the highest murder rate in the country per capita. Like, dude, is polar bears the one with the top of the numbers, or is it just because nobody can hear you scream?
No, it's when you when you tally population versus murder. Alaska has the highest.
Like where people get killed by other people, or are we saying like murder as okay? So we're not considering like a polar bear attack a murder, which would make sense. Okay.
So statistics are based on suspected
Premeditated
because they're not.
I mean, that makes perfect sense,
Dixon,
dog.
what's
If
up
you
with
were
you?
gonna murder someone, where better to be? You're in the middle of fucking nowhere, where
right?
like
Where else would you kill
98% of
somebody,
people,
right?
where
Why
a
are you
lot of
trying to
people would really
insinuate that
just
the
don't
polar
want to
bears
ever
are
go
going to
there
come
in the
kill you,
first place,
Dixon?
dog. Like, who's gonna find out?
I bet there's a lot of domestic violence too.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
bro.
I know, but a lot of those still go down as murder charges. You know, Blake.
Well, yo,
like,
the thing is, if someone
like when
invites you
they
to
when they
Alaska,
tally
be
the
mad skeptical of
statistics.
that shit because you know what's coming next, dog. It's gonna be like on, Donnie Brasco when you get the phone.
Yeah, no, I mean on what Blake said,
like
like a lot of those are domestic violence charges. Like when you tally the statistics, they tally them as murder charges because somebody got killed. But Blake is absolutely right. Like a lot of that is because Alaska has a high rate of domestic violence. Like I don't even know how to fucking explain or reconcile any of that. It's just it's like they made a state out of no man's land. You know, Alaska was like, I mean, people call it the last frontier. You know, it's a place where people don't fucking live, and therefore, like the laws of society kind of barely exist there. You know.
Man,
I
I know
mean, I
some
don't know how
fuckers
else to
from
explain it.
Alaska. They're so hard. The people I know from Alaska are some hard ass mofos, man. They rugged and they rough and they freaking don't wipe their nose after they shoot snot rockets because they just expect it's gonna freeze. They're just like, why would I even just screw it? They ride sleds.
You know what I used to love is that show Northern Exposure. You remember that?
Those people seem nice in that show, man.
Yeah.
They just once in a while have
They
somebody
painted
get
Alaska
grumpy.
out to look absolutely wonderful.
Yo, how come Diction was trying to frame polar bears a minute ago, man? I was going to ask him, and right when I started asking him, he dropped his feed.
Yeah, he knew it was coming. He's like, nah, he's about to ask about the polar bears. He knows he has deep-seated hatred.
He's trying to stir up anti-polar bear sentiment right before like we even got to that point. He's like, you mean polar bear murders? Like, well, look at that guy just out there doing moves. Yo, sometimes I dream like that, man.
Dude.
They call me
you were slowly building up to your anti-polar bear sentiment. Slowly building towards it. Diction.
Right, Diction was trying to just lay under
too thick, way too thick. I mean, while we're on the subject, I mean,
what about the birds though?
Bears.
Like the polar bears and the birds, like everybody's got a problem except Diction.
Yeah, Diction has been awfully hateful towards animals lately. Does he have a dog? We may need to check on that dog.
Absolutely.
Let's not tell him either. When he gets back, let's see if he mentions any other animals. We're gonna keep an animal watch.
You know,
I bet what happened was
I mean,
talk to us until his phone just died, and he's gonna have to go plug in for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesse. I mean, we're having a good time. We're talking about how corny and ridiculous Alaska is, but I also want to mention, and you know this, like Alaska is a fucking ruthless ass fucking state. You know, like I told you earlier this year, like my stepbrother got murdered by a fucking off-duty police officer in Alaska, and fucking that cop got away with the shit. Like fucking there were no charges. Like he went to court and fucking everything was like, yeah, no, you're cool. And he was off duty, and my stepbrother was not breaking the law. Just an off-duty cop got mad and killed him. And that's like, you know, I've only been to Alaska once, but like all of that totally makes sense to me. Like that's how it works in Alaska. It's very much like America's last frontier. Like it's the wild, wild west in the great north, you know, like that's fucking how that entire state is treated. Like fucking the same laws that apply to us down here in the lower 48 do not apply up there, man. Like vigilante justice is still a thing up there. Like people still just kill each other up there and get away with it. It's a fucking crazy thing, man. It's not a real state to me.
Has that gone anywhere?
Shout out to people in Alaska.
Has that case
Has what?
gone anywhere?
Holding it down.
No, like I said, that
Fighting off
cop
polar
got
bears.
off. Like I said, that cop got off.
Yeah,
My stepbrother got murdered. The cop went to trial. He got off. They said that he was within his rights to shoot a person while he was off duty.
Bro, that's Alaska. That's Alaska.
That's Alaska.
Man.
That's Alaska.
Alaska
That's what
shit.
it is out there. You know, you
Hey,
just kill somebody.
Because you're like, we got to move further away from our neighbors, and the neighbors encroached, and you're like, we got to move. Then they encroached, and you got to move. Man, you can't get much further out than Alaska. Hey, Diction's back, kinda. Yo, I just tried to reach out to DJ Wheels. Diction's not totally back. All right, so I was gonna get off this and go to Mars real quick. How crazy and futuristic is it that we can just watch outer space and watch these Mars rovers? And holy shit, there's a bald eagle cam right now. Get the F out of here. Hold on, look. This is Dixon's gonna love this shit. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back and be like, what the fuck? Hold on, watch. Look what I just found. Don't go nowhere. Boom. Boom. Wow. There you go. I'm still pulling up that Mars footage, but we'll let this sit for a sec. So when Dixon comes back, we can hang out right there. Oh man, that's dope, really.
Oh, that is a beautiful bird, man.
We're gonna learn a lot about Diction when Diction comes back in this thread and sees that. If he screams, we're like, what bird hurt you, dog? What bird
Diction is.
Show me right here on this eagle where they touched you.
Man, I love birds. I mean, I know they're like totally not our friends or whatever. And I guess if there was a giant one, I wouldn't love them, but they're little and shit and they can't bother nobody.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody noticed Momo.
My parents raised cockatiels. My parents raised cockatiels for years, man. Fucking, we had a bunch of birds. We taught them how to talk and shit, like how to whistle to us. Like,
smart.
Yeah, they're smart ass birds, man. It was a good time. Like, I love those birds. They were like cats. You know, I have a bunch of cats now, but those, when I was a kid, like those birds were like cats. They would sit on my shoulder and I would pet them and shit. And fucking, they were great, man. Like, I don't think there's really any animal that's not great. You know, like if you are the primary provider in that animal's life and that animal trusts you, every single fucking animal is a great fucking animal, you know? Like, that's what it is.
Yeah, Bengal tigers might eat your ass, even if they trust you, but they just get hungry.
I mean, tell that
you guys don't
tell
even
that to
know.
Roy.
Yo, I the other day I went to that animal sanctuary place.
Bro, I saw those pictures.
With the cat. Man, you should see the shit that they won't let me put anywhere, bro.
I was jealous, man. I know a lot of those sanctuaries have rules against, like, you know, they're not trying to pimp out all the baby tigers and leopards and shit. So they don't want you posting pictures of that shit because they don't want people thinking like this is a thing they could do, right? But like VIP shit, like special people get to do that. I mean, we all saw the fucking Joe Exotic fucking thing, except Jesse because he doesn't watch TV. But we all saw that, like, fucking, you know, like these sanctuaries are sanctuaries. You're not supposed to touch the animals, but they make exceptions for important people, and important people get to fucking, you know, like touch these animals that are super sacred and shit. And so,
see, again, I keep thinking you're talking about doing something nasty with the animals. Now I'm getting worried about you. Like, ooh, if you're a special person, now you get to touch the animals. That sounded a little Trumpish.
No, don't worry about it, man.
When they like you, they just let you do whatever they want.
Yeah,
when he said my birds were
CPS has never been involved, so It's cool.
When he said his birds were just like his cats, I was like, so they didn't give him herpes either. Like, boom, yo, Diction,
No,
look what we got.
Fuck you guys, man.
Just in time.
Don't talk too much shit,
Yo,
man. I think I'm a great pet owner.
You are a great pet owner. Hold on, let's
I had a nice little chat with the Tourism Board of Alaska, and I just like to say it's a beautiful place to visit, and go make a snowman there, some shit.
Oh, get me off the camera.
Alaska just immediately cuts him off. All of a sudden, Alaska's just knocking at the door. See?
Diction and the bird, 1-on-1. What you got, Diction? Okay, I don't want to look at that anymore because this is what I want to look at. So,
I want a T-shirt with that on it.
Right, somebody screenshot that. It looks like Diction's getting attacked by it, actually. Okay, hold on. So, watch this. You guys don't know about this.
I respect that bird. That look on his dome with me and shit. You're gonna Buzz Aldrin that ass if you try fucking with it.
Bro, that's a whole different story than you were saying earlier.
You know
earlier, you were like, no, actually, I take that back. Earlier, you said you respect birds. You just don't trust them. You said I respect birds. I don't trust them. So that's fair.
That's like when Rocky went into the black gym and he went with Paulie, and Paulie looked around at all the black boxers and he goes, I don't trust these guys, Rock. There he goes, I don't like these guys, Rock. And Rocky goes, I don't think they like you either. And then he goes, what'd I do to them? That's how Diction is. That's how Diction is with the birds. He's like, I don't trust these guys. Meanwhile, he's got a chicken wing in his pocket, got a drumstick in his fanny pack. Okay, so for those who can't see right now, we are looking at Mars. This is the Mars rover. And currently, according to NPR, now is a good time to head to Mars because for a month or so, Earth and Mars line up in a way that makes it possible to go from one to another. If you miss that window, and you have to wait 2 years for the next opportunity. So right now, the United Arab Emirates, China, and the United States all have missions scheduled for launch in July. NASA's entry is a 6-wheeled rover called Perseverance. It's aiming for a Jezero crater, a spot that Mars thinks was once a spot on Mars, where scientists think there was once a lake where microbes could have lived. The landing is set for February 18th. That's next week? Man, we'll be covering that shit.
All right. Hey, check this.
I'm going to say it's the worst time to go to Mars. You want to be the first people to get there when they haven't figured out all the bugs and shit? Hell no. But look, it's the worst time to go to Mars.
Bro, nobody's on the beach.
Go there like 10, 20 times.
The whole beach to yourself. Look.
Hey, my first reaction to that is like in 2008 when the housing market was crashing and people were like, if you're going to buy a house, now's the time to do it. And if you don't do it now, you might not be one of the first people to fucking buy a house in this recession. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly how I felt. Like you were pitching, like you, Jesse, sounded exactly like one of those fucking salesmen that tried to sell me a house in 2008. And, I mean, shame on me for not listening because I would fucking be like a multi-millionaire by now if I'd have bought one of those houses. But, I mean, that's what it sounds like. It's just this ridiculous fucking sales pitch for some real estate that nobody wants, and I'm gonna shoot myself later for fucking not fucking buying in when I had the chance.
Yeah, dude, the moon is definitely Dogecoin.
Bro, there's so much beachfront property on Mars. I bet that fucking I'm gonna miss out on.
Look, there's not another person on the whole beach. Hey, look, you can tell though
the whole thing.
You can tell what kind of dude I am because I'm looking at the whole Martian planet and I just want to figure out where to hang a hammock. Like, damn, no.
We'll build the oceans later. The whole thing is beachfront. We'll build the oceans later. You fucking idiot. Invest. Fucking.
Wow, look at that. That shit is dope, man.
Yeah, bro. It's incredible. It's incredible. Think about like the pioneers in America, like the people, the explorers.
Oh, good, man. Y'all can have all the total recall.
Oh, man. Diction's mic is just faded out.
Yeah, you're cutting out, man.
So here's the thing, man. When you live on Mars, you're gonna live in like this giant biodome that's gonna be like the mall, and you'll be able to jump in a water slide.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely
the post office, and you'll be able to everything you need to do. You'll just be able to shoot yourself like in one of those bank tubes.
It looks kind of lit.
It'll have climate control, and there'll be like Street Fighter 2 everywhere, and there'll be smoothies everywhere because you got to have like $1 billion to go. So it'd just be the like the dopest place ever with the oxygen turned up, climate controlled, little lakes.
It's just
fruit trees everywhere. Now check this out. That's where your landlord's gonna live, while you have to send.
It's just rich people in Fight Clubs with rich people,
right? So now this is why they have Space Force, because eventually these tweakers out here are going to figure out how to put wings on those RVs.
So it's basically just the intergalactic Dubai.
Park them right up across the street from it'll be intergalactic Dubai. There you go, Dixon. You nailed that. It'll be just like it is right now, where an RV will pull up across the street from your house, and Pauly Shore and Elon Musk and Paris Hilton's family. And not Donald Trump, because he's broke.
I'm in an RV right now.
Jesse, assuming that there's going to be tweakers on Mars is like the most optimistic thing you've ever said. Like, assuming that civilization isn't just going to leave them behind and go there. Like, no. All of us, the dregs of society, like fucking every single one of us, everybody's got a place on the new society that we're going to build on Mars.
Look, G.
The fact
I don't believe that one bit.
You're like, no. When we go there and we build a new society and the tweakers there start acting up, just like the tweakers here. Like, that's the most optimistic thing you've ever said.
All four of us don't make it.
Oh, guaranteed. I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it. The fuck do I want to go live there for? I don't even want to live here, dude. Like,
there he is. They're gonna fucking Australia that shit and send people who's in jail up there to.
Hold on. So check this out.
They will Australia that shit. You're right, man.
None of us are getting to Mars. We might be able to get off this planet, but they won't let us land on Mars.
Seems like you could skip all the trouble and go somewhere to like a desert. You know what I mean?
But oh man, now it's lost. The important part I was going to say, there was an actual important part, like a science part to learn, and then a joke, and I forgot to.
Into Mars, look how fucking
joke. Look at Momo was just up there, like whatever.
No, I love that you got. I love that you got the Momo all over your shit. I was gonna comment on it, but I didn't know if like that was just a thing that I didn't know about because it's my first time chiming into this show. So
this is the first time we've done this show since the first week of March 2020. So this show.
I love the Momo hanging. Forever. I love the Momo hanging everywhere. I think that's just like delightfully ridiculous. You know, it's like the right. It's the right amount of like take my show serious, but also like if you don't, like things are gonna creep up on you in your sleep, fucking type shit. Like.
Well, I'm glad you like that because we have one alternate, and it's Mike Pence's fly.
It's not as good.
That's the actual fly that was on Mike Pence's head, which is just the animal form of Momo. How do you feel about flies, Dixon? You got beef with flies? I got beef with flies. I hate flies.
I bet he does.
Flies are so gross. Flies are like demons, little tiny devil demons that will Nate, thanks for asking. So Strange Game on a Volcano will be recorded live on Thursday nights, early Friday mornings, right? And then I'll release it over the weekend at some point as a podcast, and then it'll just be up as a podcast. If I might just chop this up into a couple of smaller bits because we don't really if somebody asks me right now, you're like, what'd you talk about? I'd be like, fuck birds, dude. They got like knives. They got like knives in their faces, man. And the other thing I learned was that even though Constantine conquered the Roman Empire and moved it east and reestablished it in Byzantium And then later, people would say, you know what? Let's just name it fucking turkey. We learned that today. And then we also, what did we learn? Drew, how many toes did you end up having at the end? What's the final tally on that? People are going to be wanting to know,
what's my tally on what?
How many toes you ended up with?
Oh, I mean, I got like 9. I got like 8 or 9.
Round up, G. Round up. We're overachievers here.
10. Oh, I mean, if I'm rounding up, I got 10.
Okay, this is the very serious point I want to make. And this is actually like
above,
the value.
Yo, I didn't realize
above numbers
did dive so deep into ornithology.
So it's a one. It's a one. It's a one answer. It's a one. What, Diction? What? Diction's checking it out. So listen, here's the point
ornithology. It's ornithology. You know, the study of birds and such.
The study of birds and such. But when we do go to Mars, check this out. When we do go to Mars, it doesn't matter if we send the 10 best people in the world. When there's only 9 chairs, one of them has to live in the RV, right? Boots Riley from the Coup taught me this best, man.
Honestly, if 10 people ain't going to be the best because they agreed to go in the first place. That's how we know.
If everybody in the ghetto had a PhD, you'd say that doctor flipped that burger mighty good for me, right? So, like, being the tweaker, being the outcast of society is only, remember in the 80s, those people that live in RVs right now used to be everybody's weird roommate. But it's only when the chairs start getting pulled out that everybody has to start living in spaceships that are made out of RVs. And the tweakers will get there before me because I just don't have that kind of patience or ingenuity to take apart a car stereo and turn it into a warp drive. I can't take apart a jet ski and turn it into speeder landers, right? Put down the landing gear. Like, I can't build landing gear, so I have no chance. But I firmly believe in the resolve of human life to be able to pick up and relocate outside of we'll have blockchain, right, Diction? We can facilitate tweaker RVs with decentralized blockchain space program.
Correct.
And we'll advertise it by making silver monoliths. All right, what that means, guys?
Let's talk for a second about.
I feel like the official currency of Mars will be Dogecoin.
Yeah, Mars is Dogecoin.
But let's talk for a second
about like Mars coin.
The fact of how freaking crazy that all of the constructs they have right now with cryptocurrency actually are, right? So I was looking at, pretty much all the top coins that are going on and all the emerging coins that are coming out. And when you start to actually inspect, who's behind the coins and what's actually going on, you look and there's billionaire after billionaire after billionaire. And there's these foundational constructs, where it's triple firewall encrypted. There's, 6 or 7 different protocols that are happening that, are based off of node systems and just all sorts of crazy, crazy stuff. Then you go and you actually look at the net worth of the company. It's completely different than like what in the stock market, where it might be this small company where you're looking at the actual market and you go, okay, well, these guys manufacture tennis balls, and I think that they're going to be the best tennis ball manufacturer that's ever been around. There's going to be the next Wilson, and so you invest inside of that company. No, instead, these coins are already based off of technology that had to cost millions, if not billions, to actually produce, and the actual currency and everything else that's involved with it is already insured or already net worth of anywhere from 300 million to upwards of $8-9 billion. It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the infrastructure is all already there, right? Like they've got us investing and chasing fucking play money that already exists, that people already have a stake in, like no poor people are getting rich independently of the establishment. Like anytime you think that like this is a route for people who are underprivileged to fucking try to claim a stake in the overall investment of the global economy. Like exactly that, man. Like fucking, there are already people that have their fingers in all of that are making money. No matter what we do, there's already fucking people way, way fucking above us that are making money on every single investment we make. So like, yeah.
Well, and you have to think about it. In order for any
man,
of this stuff to even happen, once you look at the architecture and the foundation that's been built in order for these processes to actually go into effect, you start to see the enormity of building something like this, like an infrastructure and like a currency system of where, you know, they're going to have all of these different assets. It's basically its own stock market. It's its own bank. It's its own currency. It's its own value of everything. And they had to make it concurrent so that it could go across many different platforms. And they have.
Yeah.
And they figured these things out. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just started launching as of December.
Yeah.
You can go back and look at some of these companies and some of these coins that are just now coming in, and they're launching at fractions of a dollar and then shooting up to, you know, upwards of $300 and $500, you know, in weeks.
It's
because you're watching the infancy.
Yeah. It's a new thing. And I'm not saying there's not money to be made. I'm saying that the same people that fucking manipulate the way we make money on stocks are the same people that are manipulating the way that people are making money on crypto. Like at the end of the day,
not necessarily, because I agree with the overall sentiment of your statement, but it's a different group of whales that are manipulating you with cryptocurrency. You have to look at the concentration of Bitcoin mines, who's really the ones with the most power in this situation. And realistically, it's about 7 Chinese companies. So it's kind of more of a power balance shift between the oligarchy in America and the oligarchy in China in a way that people probably aren't acknowledging as much as they might, you know. I think there's definitely something going on there. Either way, get a U.S. stable coin and put it in a fucking proper fucking exchange, and you could take that shit at 8.64% with almost no risk. Why in the fuck wouldn't you do that? It's just you know,
I'm not trying to shit on crypto at all, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just trying to say, like, in the stakes of a global economy is what I'm talking about. Like,
right, I would agree with you.
There's no new money.
Yes, there's this sentiment that like, oh, we're getting out from under the oligarchs. Yes, that's a complete illusion. It's definitely not the case. I would just argue that I think it's a different group of oligarchs in a different part of the planet. Whether that's good
I think it's the whole world.
I'm gonna get my 8.64% APR plus whatever else on synthetics, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Compound, and what's the other one?
Totally.
Yeah, and those are just some of the major players. If you look at what's happening inside of the game right now, it's starting to be look at that. The man is back in the house. If you look though at the emergence of how many new tokens and how many new constructs are coming up, you know, pretty much almost daily right now at this point, you know, definitely weekly, you're going to start to see a whole different ball game, a whole different way of free trade, a whole different way of pushing documents and encrypting files and then being able to exchange currency from those anywhere in the world.
Totally.
Regardless of what you actually use. These systems that they have set up, what I'm seeing basically is that we're going to keep our...
Like very, very exclusive, very specific, and people were trading like a very exclusive, very explicit like thing that not a lot of people knew about. And it was exactly like that. Like fucking it was like real tailored to the people that were willing to invest in it, you know, and a lot of people made money off the speculation. It's the same thing like for a person like me who purchases fucking comic books and invests in old comic books. It's a speculator's market, you know, like you're purchasing a thing at a price and hoping that the price goes up in time. And if you hold on to it long enough, there's going to be money to be made at the end of it. It's in a lot more like fast and loose style. You know, comics are kind of a specific thing where we always understand kind of where the trend is going to go. And then if, you know, like say I bought New Mutants issue 98 out of a dollar bin in 1993, and it was a dollar then, but it's the first appearance of Deadpool. And then in 2012, Deadpool movie comes out. Now my dollar comic is worth $100. It's the exact same concept. Like you're buying in low and then hoping that enough speculators are interested enough in the product that the value will increase over time. And the only difference is in crypto, there's so many speculators buying in that the value keeps increasing very quickly. And so people are buying in and dropping and buying in and dropping at a crazy rate, which is why you see all the ups and downs in the crypto market, like when people are buying in right now. You know, like in the comic market, it's very stagnant. It's very like you buy in and you don't make a lot of money until all of a sudden you made a bunch of money, like 20 years later, you know? And in crypto, it's like you made a bunch of money next week, and if you hold on too long, you lost all your money also, you know? Like it's the exact same concept. It's a speculator market.
Oh, we can't hear you. Five? Okay. So, yeah. So what I would definitely say is that I see exactly the comparison that you're saying, like a collector's type of thing, where what's up?
Shines on you. Shines on you,
I like it. We're going freelance right here. First we're looking at the parrot's ass, and now we're back over here with me. And so we're gonna switch it back and forth. Boom. Now we're right back in the saddle. Diction Uno, he's out right now. 5 minutes. We're gonna get out of here, it looks like. We're looking at the inside of a spaceship.
Jesse's in the Millennium Falcon right now.
Is it a ceiling fan? Is it a movie title? Anyway, back to what we were saying. So, comic books are a collector's item, and something I would consider it something like records, collecting records, or
totally,
doing something of that nature.
Same concept.
Yep. Whereas in this currency situation, this is a lot like the inception of how they came up with currency in general.
Totally.
Oh, is he done with the note? Are you writing something to me? The suspense
I get what you're saying, man. I get the concept. I get the concept of like this is like how the inception of currency happened, right? Like,
and the thing that's kind of coupled along with this is they're actually introducing new technology at the exact same time as creating this currency, and then coupling it together with businesses that support it. It's a really, really interesting concept of how it is. And so one of the developments that they're doing right now is making sure that if we are to continue to have to be inside of this kind of new norm situation of where they're limiting so much physical contact, they wanted to be able to send documents really securely and be able to pay for them in multitudes of different ways. Whether you were sending something from across the world to one side, or whether you were, dealing with it digitally where somebody had a specific type of token or currency that they wanted to use that you were willing to accept. And so they have actually created systems and constructs, actually infrastructure that has cost billions and billions of dollars. It had to have, there have coders, these coders who have to be doing this. They have to be working with top tier hackers to make sure that they know the encryption methods and the stuff that they have to use so that people can't hack it. So they have to pay these guys a whole lot of money to do it.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I still got you. You got me?
Oh yeah, I got you. It was cutting out for a second. Hey man, I agree with everything you said though. Like when I talk about it like a speculator's market, what I'm talking about is the same way that like records or comic books, like or even crypto, like people, the value only exists because people say there's value there.
Give
You
it
know, like
value. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
like fucking like when I say that it's a speculator's market, I mean like when I say that it's the value is only there as long as people are placing value in it. It's like Pogs, dog. Like fucking when
Straight up.
Y'all motherfuckers miss me?
Pogs. Yeah,
Totally.
hey, we missed you. When Pogs were at their height in the early 90s, people were paying outrageous prices for fucking like good Pogs and good slammers and shit. And then the fucking bubble burst and fucking nobody was trying to buy that shit no more, you know? And a bunch of people were left with fucking Pogs that had no value, that were useless. Like it's the exact same concept with crypto, with comic books, with fucking records, with anything that you can
with
invest
actual
in.
money. And that's the whole thing. And that's what I think
with
the
real
economists and the
money.
people are really worried about right now, is that they're thinking that if they keep on adding so much inflation to the dollar and so much inflation to the markets and all of this stuff, eventually it's going to be like Venezuela, where shoot, people are wiping their ass with the currency rather than buying toilet paper because it's cheaper.
It's worthless. Exactly.
So
exactly.
And that's where, you know, and this is happening across the world. You have to understand this. You know, they're talking about these stipends. They're talking about handing out free money basically to everybody as it's inflating the currency everywhere. And then they're building these constructs and this digital infrastructure that is, from what I can tell, like many moons ago, they thought of this.
Yeah.
Long time ago that they decided, because all of the stuff is working together. All of these infrastructures are popping up basically overnight, and the stuff is worth billions and billions of dollars with billionaires backing it.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know why we've been stuck at home for a really long time. But
we've all been underinformed is the reason. Like we've all, as a general populace, we've all been underinformed, man. Like the people that are trading in these types of fucking things and that are making billions of dollars off these type of things are mad right now that other people know about it. Like this is not something that the average person is supposed to know about. Like the ability to fucking make money in a speculator's market is supposed to be a special thing. Like that's why they shut down fucking the stock market when too many people bought GameStop stocks. Like fucking you're not supposed to know that you're allowed to do this. Like that's what it is. Like fucking.
That was actually a really interesting situation. You know, actually how that erupted is Citadel, who is one of the brokerages. So when you go through a place like Robinhood or any of these trader apps, it doesn't go straight to Wall Street. Instead, it goes to one of these stop hubs, right? Which are basically these large trust funds, or what are they called? Hedge funds. These large hedge funds, and these hedge funds are the ones who fund your actual buying and selling of any of this stuff. So it goes through a third party. Citadel,
you don't got the capital. You don't got the capital to be a major player, right? So that's like when you go to the bar, they just put Robinhood's credit card down, and you get to go gamble or drink or whatever on Robinhood's credit card, and then you settle up a Robinhood. They'll pay your tab, they'll cash you out or whatever. But you don't actually have a credit card at the table, which I always liked because I'm going to lose anyways, right? One thing I learned about selling drugs is always keep one person between you and the guy that has the fucking knife in his mouth, right?
And that's where they messed up. You know, that's where they messed up is they didn't keep a person right in between them because they felt like they had the opportunity. They felt like motive and opportunity was there. So Citadel, who actually owned the hedge fund, who was going after GameStop, who was trying to squeeze them, who was basically pushing them down, was doing something basically where they buy down the stock. And when you buy down the stock, you're basically betting against the company that the company's not going to be able to survive, and not enough people are going to be able to buy their stock.
Yeah.
And so when you buy it down like that,
research on stock shorting.
Yep. And so if you know, we're sitting here talking about it, you know, in front of everybody. So just, you know, explaining to people who may not know, or who do know, as you start to buy it down or whatnot, you know, if you get the number right and it doesn't fund, then you get to keep it. But if it does fund, then you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So, and there's no option. So when all of a sudden they were buying it down and buying it down and buying it down, the people jumped in there and they started buying the stock back up. So it made the price inflate because they had to keep on buying it.
Man.
And so it basically stuck them inside of a conundrum where it was just sticking the price and the price was rolling up and it was taking all of this millions and millions and millions of dollars out of this hedge fund. Well, the problem was the person who was actually giving the order and taking the order back out was the hedge fund itself, Citadel. So it was sitting there on one side buying its own stock back from itself, and then it called up Robinhood and shut itself down because it wasn't going to fund Robinhood taking all of its money out anymore.
So I see all these people making money off this, and I want to jump in, and I want to be gung ho about like fucking this revolution of like working class people working the system and fucking making money off of the investments that rich people have been fucking taking advantage of for years, right? But my biggest fucking thing that makes me not want to do it, my biggest thing that makes me weary of this is when I was a senior in high school in 2018 and the stock market was kind of a new thing to me, I put $1,000 of my own money in homegrocer.com and lost it all because homegrocer.com went under.
Bro, I worked for homegrocer.com in Seattle.
Bro, and now in 2021, every fucking person that I know gets delivery fucking groceries and shit. Like fucking shit gets delivered to your door.
So you have to understand, when you're ahead of the curve, sometimes you take a bite on the ass because you know you're ahead of everybody else. So you're the person who has to clean out the sticker bushes or clean out the thicket. But the problem is that you can't let that taint your ability to be able to go out there and continue to pursue the next big thing, the next spot, you know.
Man,
otherwise it takes
your 9 to 5 and fucking I just went and got a 9 to 5 and said I'll make my money the real honest.
Absolutely, but that doesn't mean this should be a maximization to the money that you're already making, you know. There's so many different types of investments and so many different portfolios that you should be expanding yourself in, whether it's a fail safe like an IRA or a 401k, something that you're putting away in the back end to make sure that when you're done working that you have a little bit of extra money that you're earning on top of the money that they have to give you. You know, the other things are a diversified portfolio of investments so that you have a little bit of money over here, a little bit of money over there, and enough to kind of back you up inside of a rainy day. And then also hopefully some assets that you can accumulate, you know, through there, whether it's, you know, some comic books or something that you're going to sell on later that you know, kind of guess things are going to be worth something, or a house, you know, something that's an actual property that you can grab some sort of liquid out of the middle and
value.
Use that as an asset to pay stuff off.
So I got a 401k, so I'm set there. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. You know, after all this, we'll talk about like things to invest in. As far as the comic books, you know, as far as absolutely, man. Like I would love to.
We're gonna have to. We got about a half an hour off topic.
Hey, real quick, as far as the comic books go, that's not an investment. I'm not selling any of them. My current plan is when I die, I wanna have a mausoleum built around me, and I want all of those comic books embedded in the walls. Like fucking, you know, if anybody really wants them, they got to be a grave robber, and at that point, they deserve them. Like fucking, if you're willing to fucking break into my mausoleum and fucking just grave rob me and fucking steal those comic books out of the concrete walls that they're embedded in, then they're yours, dude. Like
says the guy who thinks they're gonna be tweakers on Mars. Back to you, Jesse.
I was gonna say they're gonna give you herpes. You're gonna if it has to chase you to the grave, you're gonna end up with these.
Yeah, I would imagine that tweakers on Mars would probably have herpes. Sounds reasonable.
Okay, well, so I feel like we accomplished a couple weird things today, actually. Even though, like, at first you might be like, was this a good pilot for was this a good pilot for that? No, but it is a good pilot for the other show that I've been pitching all week, which I don't have a name for it, which is an investment show or a hustler show where you have to be creative with, okay, here's an example. I just scored 100 light switch covers for $1 a piece, and we bought 100 of them, right? And we got to Drew, you gotta quit sniffing on the show, man. People
What are people gonna think?
This whole show is just you sniffing. It's like people listen to the show.
Hey man, it's winter.
Like
It's
mute
the fucking
mic when
winter.
you sniff, man. Shit.
I'm wearing a headphones piece with a microphone attached, dude. I can't do nothing about that. It's winter in the Northwest, dude. It's fucking cold out here. I'm sorry.
It's cool. We don't care. I just got distracted by it. Just do it. Just get a good one in real quick.
I'm gonna do it off camera.
Do that with your face like that. Do that thing like that.
I'll get a good one in off camera.
Hey, if you pull on your ear while you do it too, you can open a whole wormhole and just shoot it right there.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to see this, so it's going to be all off camera.
No, but the podcast audience, man, like when people hear this experience, like people edit out and like breaths, and when people go, they edit that shit out. So like a podcast audience will be like, do you know that guy sniffed 1,036 times? Leave us a 5-star, but that's fine.
And he still showed up to work on time the next day. Is the part you're leaving out, man. Like, doesn't matter how many times I sniffed on camera. I showed up to work on time the next day. So fuck off.
And they said it was snowing in Portland. I assume it's snowing over there in Milwaukee.
Oh, it's snowing in Portland. It's snowing in Portland.
Hey, that's fine, but I think the other show has a lot of potential, a lot of fun, and we could bring on other entrepreneurs and people, and we could just pitch a proposition to them, and then we just hustle it out on the air, right? Like, for example, I don't know, we got a bunch of calendars from last year, but we only paid 25 cents a piece for them. And that's all we got, bro. That's our hustle. We got 100 calendars from last year.
What are you doing with last year's calendar?
And they're all dudes in thongs.
Right? Sick. And then that'll just be one pitch. And then
but they're all construction workers with regular construction worker bodies. They might be a little hairy, a little out of shape.
You know what I do?
Yeah, I would give you the wrestler pose.
I would take vague pictures of them online and just not put the calendar, and then just burn a bunch of online orders through a fake eBay account, probably on that one. But we could just brainstorm like through the week, and then just put entrepreneurs on it and watch their wheels work right in front of us, right? Like, okay, I called my friend Steve. Steve fucking runs Facebook ads. I put out a Facebook ad, right? Or I'd write a press release, or I'd brand it, or I'd start a website, right? It'd be like really entrepreneurial, but we would throw just pitches at them where we're like, no way, Dixon's back. What up?
Yo,
yeah.
I'd like to apologize to the Bird Mafia, Alaska, Chinese oligarchs, and anybody I may have, pissed off. Don't murder me in Alaska.
We weren't expecting this. Not from you.
Hey, did you just put
someone else, but not from you?
Did you
the best of us
put that camouflage on since you disappeared?
Yeah, yeah.
No, that camouflage is the reason he disappeared.
I mean, you know, I'm
ready to go to war.
Places, you know what I'm saying?
Like you went to war.
Chinese oligarchs.
You didn't see Dixon. He put that camouflage on. He's been here the whole time.
I gotta keep it low pro. You know what I'm saying?
Where the hell are you? Are you in like a train station?
Shout out to Buzz Aldrin. Well, believe it or not, I'm in a motorhome where I live, so it's kind of hilarious with Jesse going in about motherfuckers and motorhomes and bars and shit. I was like, well, fuck, I'm gonna tell you right now, we ain't gonna end up there because I don't even want to go.
It's like a train station minus the train and the station.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of, I got a little train thing going on behind me right here. This is
the Brooklyn Bridge.
this is what Google Home chooses to show me when I'm
not the Brooklyn Bridge.
Things.
Oh, okay.
No, that's
What's
probably
that?
Golden Gate. Honestly, that's probably Golden Gate right there.
It looks more like a rail bridge. Looks like it's made for like trains.
Oh no, it's probably something important. It's probably something important.
It also looks like there's a lift on it. Is it over a river or is it over train tracks?
It's really hard to tell. It's on my TV.
Man, bro,
I didn't take a picture myself.
For all that TV you watch and all the times you tell us how much you made on the internet, you'd think you'd have a bigger TV in your house. Man, you're slipping, Drew. What's going on?
Oh no! I'm all about quality, not quantity, man. I watch a lot of great TV shows, and I can recommend
on a small ass TV. That reminds me when I watched Jurassic Park on a 13-inch black and white TV. And I never watched it again.
I believe the culture is minimalist.
Why don't you got a giant ass TV, Drew?
For somebody who doesn't watch TV, you're sure being judgmental about my TV for somebody who doesn't watch TV, man.
Well, now I'm mad because I can't see the bridge.
Like, I don't think you're actually allowed to talk shit about
participate in society, but I'm going to be extremely judgmental.
Did you ever get into archangels?
Hey, Blake, you're allowed to be.
My little
No, we never did get into the archangels, Dixon.
It's a great topic. Banishing rituals, Archangel Michael when you're casting spells.
What?
Like, go on.
Dixon's chiming in
run it.
Like
let's
5
go.
minutes before you go off air. If I could just drop.
Are we gonna start with me?
I mean, yeah, my phone battery could die at any time, and my laptop sucks. So you know what I'm saying.
Hey, you look good right now. What do you want right now?
I'm on my phone. My phone's nicer than my laptop. You know what I'm saying?
But he is using an oil Volay moisturizer, so I'm glad that you noticed.
I'm really curious why you ended up wearing camouflage. Like, did you have a whole episode of Predator or
so I forgot my mask when I was going to the corner store, and I was like, fuck, because I never usually forget it, but they know me at my corner store real well. And so I just did one of these and was like, ran up like, yo, and bought the mask real quick and threw it on. Well, it turned out not to be a mask. It's like a gator, but I like it. And it's cold as shit, you know what I mean? There's snow and everything. So I was like, yo, let me throw this on my head real quick. I had my Tiger's hat on top of that earlier. But then
I just want to make sure like the eagles or the polar bears.
I like it. You know what I'm saying? We live in the Mad Max era. I feel like, you know, it's good to like dress appropriately for said situations that might arise, like beef with a certain bird council, the state of Alaska and their government, and or Chinese oligarchs or whoever else you might up on the podcast.
I think you just thought of an incredible segment. If we were to take in personal, I don't know what you consider them, confessionals or whatever, of people who've accidentally grabbed the wrong thing as a mask and showed up in public and had to use it anyway.
Yeah.
I
try to be real careful with all that. And there was one dude in the corner store and he's behind the thing, or I would have just said fuck it and gone home straight up. But I was like, all right, there's no one in here. It's mad late. They know me. He's behind this little, you know, fucking COVID glass bubble joint. So I was like, let me just run like this. I grabbed it, and then that we were selling for masks was the Gators, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, the Gators work about as good as any other mask I have. I don't have an N95 yet. I'm gonna try and rectify that soon because I'm getting back into the courier game, and so I'm gonna get one of them and then one of them face shields and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Diction, I love you, but on this episode, your phone has died. You've told us that you're forgetting your mask when you're running around. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Should we have an intervention? Do we need to tap in?
It sounds hella bad.
All that aside, like,
people like the plague and all that. Right?
All that aside, I gotta work tomorrow. I put some time aside in my night when Jesse hit me up, like, hey, you want to be on my show tonight? I was like, yeah, I'll put some time aside. I'll fucking be on your show, right? And then I go on this show, and in the middle of the fucking show, Diction disappears, and he comes back telling me that he fucking like put on a deer suit and fucking like crept up to his local store and fucking like just like fucking full camouflage, just like went out.
Yeah, you said inside your own shit, and meanwhile I'm out here starting shit with birds Entire
like,
oligarchies of very powerful countries, entire states where they murder everybody that goes there. And
he's actually covered in deer urine right now.
You know what I mean?
This whole place smells like deer urine to keep the birds away.
I thought I was gonna be the guy on the show that took it the least seriously because, you know, like, I'm here. I love Jesse. I love both of you guys too. Fucking, I'm happy to be here. But I also like reserved some time in my night for this, you know, so I didn't expect like one of my fellow guests to just like disappear for like an hour and then come back with some crazy
strange game on a volcano. Sometimes we piss off the wrong people, and maybe
strange game on a volcano. Sometimes you gotta just put on the full camo and go to that fucking corner store down the road. If I can come back,
bro. I don't know if you've been out
with a Buzz Aldrin.
Like a Mad Max.
I don't know if you know what it's like out here.
I feel like he must have had an experience with a small town sheriff, right? Like, what are you doing in town, grifter? He's like, this is my town, and they roughed him up, and he's.
No, Dixon's.
Yo, the further we drift into the Mad Max, the crazier I'm gonna start dressing and shit. You know what I mean? And like having places for giant knives and all kinds of shit. Because why not, man? Fuck it.
You look like the train robber in Dennis the Menace. Remember the guy with the cans of beans?
I figured it was appropriate to go on a like quote unquote conspiracy type show, and I was like, yo, let me just look as fucking but like that as possible. You know, fucking
nice you to dress up for it.
You're definitely playing the part, man. Like
I figured inject some humor in the mornings, you know, we were usually real serious, you know what I mean? Like
cool.
You know,
no, way different.
I don't know, but the archangels thing's dope. I hope you get into that some other point. The obelisk thing is fucking pretty interesting too when you go into the history of it, even though the modern ones honestly just look like an art installation. And then Turkey just made the whole shit look crazy when they were like, yo, PR stunt. But I'm not lying. If you got an album to promote or something, like, you know, find out whoever did that, because that's brilliant.
Just get a big ass zip drive. Looks like an obelisk with a zip drive in it.
Yo, that's the next I just finished a batch of those. Those are pretty dope. But like, I'm gonna start doing more of that, making merch that's in a theme with the thumb drive in it. That might be a nice next project. Like, just make a EP about like paranormal alien type shits, and then fucking put them in little monoliths to send out to people and shit, or just leave them in different places and shit for people to find.
Yo, this is what I thought Diction was on right here.
Blow up in Turkey.
No, some Rambo shit. They should come back with a camouflage on. I went to the store and I didn't have my mask. I said I can't breathe very well.
No, for real, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but at one point when I was like still coming off of drugs, right back when I was like struggling with addiction, it was coming off of them. There was a period of about a month where I bought a $10 Rambo knife at a Harbor Freight, and I became obsessed with it. And I carried it everywhere because, you know, I was kind of fucking had some screws loose still and shit. And I made a lot of people nervous. And I was all being crazy in traffic and shit. It was all bad. Eventually, I ended up like, you know, giving that to my homie's kid. He was like, yo, you know, he's all good with knives or whatever. And, you know, I got my brain screwed back on correctly and all that. But it is kind of funny you bring that up because there was like this weird little era when I made my girlfriend at the time and people in general, because I was just walking around with this Rambo knife and acted kind of wild for a couple months.
So two things, Diction. I think we've all probably gone through a Crocodile Dundee knife phase. I've done it a couple times in my life where I'm just walking around the streets with a huge knife. And second off, can you please edit that clip of Rambo and have Diction's head on Rambo right there hiding behind the tree, and then have a bird inside of the helicopter shooting at him?
For real. Diction saw that Rambo video. Diction saw that Rambo video, and he was like, "It do be like that. It do be."
Hey, so look, this is what I wanted to ask you, Diction.
No, that's the life
you have the real Rambo knife, because the real Rambo knife, if you look right here, the real Rambo knife unscrews at the bottom, right?
No, this one did, man. You could get it for $10 at Harbor Freight. You unscrewed it. They have no matches and a compass and no shit like that.
About to do it right now. Look. Watch. He's gonna unscrew the bottom.
Boom. Yeah, that's where the matches is at.
The waterproof matches in the bottom.
You got to exactly. That's how mine's had that shit.
Always wanted a reason.
Plus, you can stash a little drugs in there when you're. I ain't advocating that. Like, yo, the moral of the story is like, don't do so much drugs that you go through a Rambo knife phase, and screw your get the loose screws tightened. Get your marbles back. Avoid Rambo knives unless it's extremely necessary.
I think it's an apocalypse knife. I believe that you should have at least like a teen or a meth in there. Just stuff it in there in case like a zombie apocalypse. You want to be alert and awake. Gotta take a little bit. Go on. You're not going to eat as much. I get a bag of rice, a teen or a meth, and a Rambo knife with a freaking compass and some matches. I'm ready to go.
I'm really sincerely apologize for birds because when we just went through this whole thing, I just realized who the fuck am I to judge birds, dog? Like I've done a lot of wild shit in my life. Who am I to fucking look down upon birds? They fly, they do all kinds of cool shit. You know what I mean? Like, yo.
It's funny. I feel like this went full circle because earlier Diction was trying to paint the birds as the crazy ones with the knives in their mouth. And then we go full circle. And we find out Diction's the one that's actually out here on his Rambo shit, right? Look.
See, you get a lot of lessons from these shows.
Into the store, Diction's like, there's nothing in the store. So he was like, you gotta wear your mask.
It comes back to a good spiritual lesson, which is like, yo, it's everybody's kind of you pushed out. We all connected, even if you're a bird and shit. You know what I mean? And so, like, yo, don't judge motherfuckers because, one day you might be a turkey. You know what I'm saying? And then on another day, you might be, I don't know, an octopus because they're hella smart. You know what I mean? We all have our turkey days. You know what I'm saying?
Jesse, I love you. I love Diction. I love your show. I'm just worried that like you showing all these clips from the Rambo movies might give Diction flashbacks to his walk to the corner store that he took earlier. Like, fucking, there's a
That's what I'm talking about. This is a movie about.
He went through a lot of shit there.
So is this a lot what Strange Game on a Volcano is like?
Yeah, but we're supposed to be talking about pyramids, but I think if we don't really set a theme, maybe it'll work out easier. And then, like, whenever we did get to a theme, I could just write that down and be like, "Oh, we did talk about that for a minute."
He's just
I feel like
showing fucking explosions of their
thing. Like, yo, I think a better idea is evoke some archangels in your life and protect yourself from, the negative energies. Then you don't got to worry about Rambo knives and fucking camo hats and shit, because spiritual.
Spiritual.
Okay, yo, that's 2 hours. I gotta wake back up and do this again in 8 hours.
Oh shit.
With a serious face. The impeachment.
Right? What's going on Coffee and Bong Hits and shit? You getting into some impeachment trials or what is it?
Tomorrow on Coffee and Bong Hits. I forget some other people might be listening. I'm gonna chop this up so many times. This is just gonna turn into a series of clips. Which will just work out.
That one in there as a gift.
You know who else had a series of clips? Rambo.
My hero.
Yeah, I feel like this is just hitting his stride right
series
now.
Of clips.
I feel like this is really just hitting his stride. Come back from the store. We get a 5-hour energy.
He actually got that outfit from Alex Jones, which is nice.
Sick.
Personal wardrobe.
Look, this is separated at birth right now.
Yeah, he
doesn't know either. He jumped in through his back window.
Stylist.
Oh shit.
All right.
I think Diction looks great personally. Looks great. He looks like if I had a friend and I didn't want to know where he was. All that camo and shit.
Yo,
Like if you wanted to hang out at your house, but you didn't want to feel like there were too many people there.
Yeah.
Dick
like,
said that
like
he
if I
lives
had
in
a
a
friend that I
trailer,
know-
but he didn't say where the trailer is.
I got-
This trailer's out in the middle of nowhere.
Alaska.
Like I got a friend, but I don't necessarily need to know where he's at. You know, like
He's
that's
at Pal
Dick's
Butte.
fucking-
He's right
No
up
one
next
ever
to
needs to
military
know where I'm
bunker
at.
at Pal
Yeah.
Butte. I'm gonna give away
Yeah,
your
I'm saying,
location
he's
right
in my-
now, Dixon.
I should switch it up anyway.
He's in my
since it's snowing
backyard
outside, you know
next
what
to
I
the
mean?
bike I don't ride.
Dude, if Brian Dennehy gets you, G, just be like, I don't want a mask. I want a Bang energy drink. I have a
probably got
medical
more of those today.
condition.
I'll tell you. Yeah.
Hey, check this out, you guys. I
Energy.
swear to God, I'm not going to put the homie's name on blast. If you see him on Instagram, you see him on Instagram. He went in Winco tonight and tried to not wear a mask.
Yo.
And some
Yeah.
teenage Winco guy was like, yo, man, you can't do that. And he was like, I have a breathing condition. Do you know about the ADA? And he's like, sir, they'll shut us down. And the homie's videotaping it, and it's on Instagram right now. He videotaped the whole thing. And it's like, dude, you don't even drink. How? Man, Dixon, I really feel like this was like your eulogy right here, but you're alive. You know, they say give people flowers while they can still smell them, right?
Right? Shout out to Brian Dennehy. That motherfucker's a gangster.
Brian Dennehy.
You know what I'm saying? That
We
man's
hired
bad
him.
underrated, I feel like.
You know how you could pay Redman?
Yeah,
$90
rest in
and be
peace,
like,
dog. Rest in
yo.
peace, even though you're alive.
Yeah,
No
rest
doubt.
in life, dude. Like, just take a rest, Diction. Why do you have to have peace to rest? Just rest in life.
Man,
Hey, plus, if you flew with the angels, bro, you'd be hella suspect with a knife in your mouth, flying around, shitting on motherfuckers, man.
Oh,
Hey,
shit.
speaking of angels, speaking of archangels, let me get in on the next episode if you're going to talk about archangels. I've read the whole book of Enoch, and fucking that shit is crazy.
Oh, shit.
Like fucking.
That's
Yo,
exactly
yeah.
what we're
Yo,
supposed
that's
to be
why-
talking about.
What you know? What's crazy is he
That's
read
what
it
we
just
were
for this
supposed to
episode,
talk-
but we just didn't get to it because we were talking about birds and fucking.
We were like, nah, fuck
I-
that. We want to
I-
talk shit
That's
about
Aldrin's
birds.
right.
Fucking 2
read it
hours.
years ago. I didn't realize that was the topic. Jesse didn't fucking inform me what the topic was when I went in here. Like,
Yeah,
I just
dude.
I
talking
even
of
did
all
some
kinds-
research on the whole fucking monoliths and all that, and then we were just like, fuck
I
that shit.
did.
You know what? Turkeys, they're fucking terrible. Like it.
Yeah, fuck.
Right? I think it was when we started slandering people that everything went nuts, right? It was like, man. Okay, so watch
Kind of what
this
the
thing.
episode was like is right what this picture is.
Watch
I
this
think
thing. Wake up! When a rooster crows at midnight, it doesn't matter what time it is. How long have you been asleep? It was probably a dream. And you can't prove it wasn't. All I know is the dinosaurs are dead. Somebody killed the dinosaurs. I'm gonna find out who. This is Strange Game on a volcano. Hey, welcome to an emergency episode of Coffee. No, what's our show? Whoops. Hold on. Welcome to yeah, see, that's gonna suck. I was thinking we could just lead right into it and it would be dope. Because really that is like I didn't just want to talk about that for my fucking show. That's like what I care about in my life right now. Like where the fuck are these archangels at? And why are all these Reiki people being like, oh, you just call them and they just come to your house and help you? They show up in your dreams. Like what? Who are they? Can I steal their shit? Can I take their infinity gauntlet? Can I steal their power? That's what we want to know. So I was gonna ask Diction, and then I found out Drew read the book of Enoch, and then people told me that Metatron was Enoch. And then I'm like, well, shit, do I have to do Reiki? And then somebody hit me with the 444. And I was like, oh, man, if this is going to make me start putting what time it is on the internet and being like, it's 11:11, time to do Reiki, then I don't want to learn about it. But I don't think it is. I think they probably got some mystical amulets, some relics, some totems, some gems. We could trick them into coming to our house. We could steal their shit. Man, you know what? That was bad editing. I should have had the solo cam on. Instead, I had Drew's black cam. Hold on. Let me try this one more time. Drew's not going to be able to come back in. Yo, G, let's just rain check her.
Much love, my brah.
My G. All right, 5,000. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you, Nate. Sleep tight. Take care of your baby. All right.